Hello, folks. I just finished watching Dragon Ball GT episode 24, and if you watched last episode, then you know I was way, way off in my predictions. Um, so, basically, last time, um, the Dragon Ball that they found was the one-star Dragon Ball, and I didn't mention it, but at the time I thought that's really odd because Baby also had the one-star Dragon Ball, and so I was wondering, is this like an anime? Excuse me. That's not a good start. I don't usually. Well, I have burped one other time, but anyway, that's not good. Anyway, but I thought I didn't mention it, but I thought that was weird because Baby also had the one-star Dragon Ball, and I had assumed that it was like an animation error or some sort of mistake the team had made. But turns out that was 100% intentional. So the kid from last episode, who I thought was just some random kid with evil powers, turns out he was actually being possessed by Baby. And it's so ridiculous. Like, it was so ridiculous in, like, it was ridiculous in an entertaining way because Baby, like, he like just pops out of this kid like like some sort of disguise. It was like, aha, it was I the entire time, audience. It was like, what even is happening right now? It was so like shocking and like out of nowhere almost. I was like, what? um but now I do know it was confirmed. I was like, last episode, was Baby controlling Rild, or was he about to control Rild? And he was controlling Rild, and Rild is basically dead. Because, like, he's seen at the end taking, like, the life out of victims. But this entire episode, is Baby trying to get control of one of the Saiyans. He desperately wants to, like, take over one of the Saiyans' bodies. And like this episode could have been better, but just the fact that like Baby shows up out of nowhere and pops out of this kid, it really added a lot for me. It really like it just helped jazz up the episode. And it's the sort of thing where I'm like, well, maybe Baby will show up more often now. Like, I'm wondering, is this going to turn into... Because I thought Baby was going to be a background element and maybe come back later. But now, I think he might be a much more active antagonist. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's going to be pursuing the Saiyans, or at the very least gathering strength in order to pursue the Saiyans, in which case he will become a background antagonist again. But I had no idea, like, just how powerful. Well, not how powerful, but just like that Baby would just come out of nowhere like that. Like, I just thought this was a random storyline. You know what I mean? I just thought this was a random one-off storyline, but no, like, Baby shows up. It's like he is the villain who's after the Saiyans, and it's like it added. It like just, it was so sudden, and I was like, what? It was with that said, also important to note is that Baby doesn't seem to care at all about the Dragon Balls, which is something like every single villain wants, is the Dragon Balls. And even if they're not actively after the Dragon Balls, then they're like, well, I'll still take him. You know what I mean? But Baby, he just views the Dragon Ball as like, oh, I can use this to lure in the Saiyans. Like, he doesn't care about the Dragon Balls. He cares about the Saiyans, and he cares, like, of getting his, I guess, vengeance. I mean, I'm not supposed to know he wants vengeance yet, but come on. He wants those Saiyans. I also thought the climax was pretty good as well, with like Trunks getting the cut on his arm and Baby infecting him through the cut, and I was wincing at that, just like the thought of Baby like squirming into like an open wound. It was like, ugh, you know what I mean? And the one thing I'll say, which is weird, is that, like, this is a very specific thing for me to be like, this has happened too many times. It's like a recurring pattern. But, like, with this series, more than most other Dragon Ball series, the heroes will show up and they'll be like, ah, you fell right into our trap, villain. We planned this all along. Because last time, well, not last time, but, you know, an episode or two ago, we had Trunks unveiling that, you know, he had planned for everyone to get captured and for Gil to appear like a villain in order to infiltrate Dr. Mu's base. And now with this episode at the end, we have the Saiyans going, see, we knew that you were, you know, taking over people. And so we purposefully did this in order to lure you out. So it's like, I hope they don't do that too often. They already did it twice, which is 2 more times than I expected it to happen. Like, but it's not something egregious, but it's like, I don't know if that really fits with Dragon Ball, you know what I mean? With that, all that said, I am much more invested than I was previously. I think, like, don't get me wrong, I don't think this is the sort of arc I'm going to be revisiting or rewatching or anything, but I'm much more invested now than I was 1 episode ago. Like, I really, don't get me wrong, I still want the Black Star Dragon Ball arc to just be over with, but at the same time, I'm glad I'm glad that this episode wasn't just, like, I'm glad it wasn't just a one-off, didn't serve a purpose in the plot sort of thing. I mean, you can argue it didn't serve a purpose in the plot, but it felt, you know, it didn't feel like a waste of time, at the very least. Because, like, there were episodes early on where it was just like, okay, we're slogging through this, you know what I mean? Watch my episode 7 and 8 reviews if you want more detail on me complaining, but yeah, overall, I did enjoy this episode. Well, when I say I enjoyed this episode, it's on the Dragon Ball GT level of enjoyment, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, once I finish GT and I'm, like, done with the series, then I'll be able to make more judgments on how I feel it did compared to previous Dragon Ball series and ones that came after and all that. But right now, since I'm still in the middle of it, I don't want to make any, like, sort of overall judgments on whether or not I'm enjoying it more or less than other series. I mean, I know I've said a lot that I don't enjoy this as much as the other Dragon Ball series, and it's true. I don't feel this is as good as Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but I do, like, it is getting better, is what I'll say. It's like, if they could just end the Black Star Dragon Ball arc, like, just collect the Dragon Balls, be done with it, and then do what you want with Baby, and I feel like that'll be much more interesting than what they were doing with the Black Star Dragon Balls, because, like, as I've said before, they really, like, the Black Star Dragon Balls only exist so we can go on space adventures, and they aren't even utilizing the plot device they've set up, which is the time limit. It's like, so you might as well just, like, if they're not even gonna do anything, which they haven't so far, then they might as well just wrap this up and move into Baby. Which brings me, by the way, I'm just, because I mentioned last episode that 5 of the Dragon Balls have been found, but really it's only, our heroes have 4 Dragon Balls now, so they still need, like, 3 more, and then that'll be it. but I'll see what happens. I'm I'm still in GT limbo, I suppose. I am like I'm entertained, like hesitantly entertained, I should say, because like every time there's an episode I get invested in, I always worry that there's going to be like an episode immediately after which is just this boring slog to get through. So I can't like look forward to the next episode, or like I have limitations on how invested I can get in it based on the previous episodes I've seen. So hopefully, I keep saying hopefully it'll get good, or hopefully it'll get improve, or hopefully it'll find its footing. It's getting there. There's a lot of elements here which are a lot better than what we had previously. Like I think Baby as an antagonist has a lot more potential than someone like Dr. Mu. But we'll see what happens. And if you enjoyed this, episode, my review of it, that is, be sure to check out the others. I'm doing, episode by episode reviews of Dragon Ball GT. I'm watching through for the very first time. And be sure to stay tuned for the rest of them. Have a lovely day.